Okay, welcome to class. This is the day you guys have been waiting for. We've gotten through the shop safety, and we've gotten through the parts identification on the oxyacetylene system, and we've also passed the oxy-fuel safety test. So now, again, we're going to be addressing standard B.7. It's oxy-fuel cutting and welding. And to be more specific, it's B7.2, which is know how to properly set up, adjust, shut down, and maintain an oxy-fuel system. So as we've learned, the smaller of the two tanks is your acetylene tank. We know that because of the red hose that's attached to it. And the taller tank is your oxygen tank. And we know that because we have the green hose, which is associated with oxygen on this one. The first step we're going to take, we're going to open up this acetylene valve 1/2 turn. We do this for two reasons. Only a half turn for safety reasons. If something happens, we can shut it down quickly. And the other reason is that this tank is a low pressure tank. We only have about 200 pounds in this tank, so the pressure isn't going to bleed past this valve, so we don't have to open it all the way. The oxygen tank, on the other hand, can have up to 2,000 pounds of pressure in it, 2,000 pounds per square inch. So we're going to open up this valve all the way. We're going to keep turning it, it goes away. And when it stops, snug it up a little bit. We call that back seating. That way it doesn't allow the oxygen to bleed past this and we're not wasting oxygen. The next thing we're going to do, we look at these gauges. This is the high pressure side and this is the low pressure or working side. We're going to turn this valve on the regulator clockwise. As we turn it clockwise, you can see it's turning this way. As it goes up, the needle goes up. So we're going to turn that up to 5 pounds. On your oxygen tank, on the regulator, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it clockwise until it gets up to 18 pounds of pressure. So we're at 18 pounds of pressure right there. You got the correct pressure set. Your next step is going to be lighting the torch. It's the part you guys have been waiting for. We're going to hold it in our left hand. And with our left hand, or right hand if you're left-handed, you're going to hold it in your right hand and use your other hand to open the valve. So I'm going to turn the gas valve to the left about 1/8 of a turn. We're barely open it. We just want to turn it just far enough to light the flame. So we open it up and we light the flame. All this black stuff coming off is carbon. It's okay. That's what we want. So we'll add a little bit more acetylene to it until that carbon just starts to go away. Once that goes away, we'll put on our shade 5 glasses and we'll open up our oxygen. And the same, it's about a 1-to-1 ratio. We're going to add oxygen to it. As we add oxygen, the flame gets brighter and we get this blue feather in there. It's a really long feather. That's a carburizing flame. We still call it a carburizing flame because there's still carbon burning inside this flame. We don't usually weld with that, so what we're going to do, we're going to continue to turn that valve until that feather combines with one tip. Once that's brought back to a nice fine point, we call that a neutral flame. We're going to do all our welding at this point. If we turn a little further, the torch gets a little louder. It's called an oxidizing flame. We don't use that flame much, but that does have its purposes. For what we're learning, we're going to take it back out and bring it right back into a neutral flame. For your assessment, you're going to take it to this point. Then we're going to reverse the process and shut the torch down. So we're going to go ahead and close the oxygen, and we're back to that carbon flame. We're going to shut our acetylene off. Shut the acetylene off all the way. It's okay to lift your glasses up so you can see your gauges at this point. My rule of thumb is I shut the acetylene off first. That's the only one that can really cause us any damage or hurt anything, so we get it shut off first and make it safe. Then we'll shut off our oxygen. Again, we turn it all the way to the right to shut it off, just like your garden hose at home. Keep turning to the right. Once it's shut, we're going to open up our acetylene, or our fuel side of the torch. And as we open it, you'll see these gauges drop. The gauge and they'll down to 0. So all the pressure's off this regulator now. We're going to close that valve back up. We're going to do the same up here. We're going to open up our oxygen side. The gauge is going to go 0. Your last step is turn your regulators 2 turns to the left. And we're done. Simple step. We'll look forward to you guys doing this tomorrow in class. Everybody passing the assessment with ease. Thank you.